everybody, Jessie here from jessiebanks.com, and today we're using the Science of Love set from Lawn Fawn and Abandoned Coral, Salty Ocean, and Cracked Pistachio Distress ink. The watercolor paper I'm using is just a scrap piece of watercolor paper that I had in my scrap bin, so I'm not sure what it is for sure. It might be Arsh's 140 pound actually. So I'm just starting by blending these three colors into the background. Just to give me a nice coverage, I'm going to attack them here right away with little spots of water just to lift different areas and create like puddling, and it looks really, really pretty when I'm done. So once I get these colors here, they're not perfectly blended or anything either. You can see where the water is starting to hit and how the colors are starting to move and lift off ever so easy. That's why I think it's the Arsh's paper, just because of how fast everything started to react. So I'm just doing this a couple of more times and drying it in between just to get the finished look that I want, as this is going to be the entire background of the whole card. So there, I'm air fanning it because I wanted the spots to lift a little faster, the last little bit of water, again with my paper towel, and that's our background. So I'm going to make sure that that's nice and dry. And then I'm taking another scrap piece of watercolor paper, and I'm using these two little geeky characters with a heart. And I'm stamping them using Ranger Archival Jet Black ink, and I have the big pad, so that's why it's off to the side and I'm not actually inking the stamp. So I'm just going to stamp that on the paper, and then I'm going to go in, and I'm going to stamp our sentiment here too, which is, I think it's something about chemistry. It is something about chemistry, but I think it's, there we go. We have great chemistry. And it's not going to stamp perfect, and I am going to fix that after, because this scrap piece was just the perfect size and I didn't have any more. And I didn't want to cut a piece when I could make this one work. So we're going to watercolor this using distress inks as well. And the only extra color I'm going to add in at the end is on the heart, and it's going to be the picked raspberry. But I'm starting off here with Abandoned Coral. And this is water, and it has Perfect Pearls or Pearl-Ex powder and gum arabic in it. I'm not sure which bottle I grabbed. I don't have them labeled, but you can mix just Perfect Pearls, or you can use like Pearl-Ex powder with gum arabic so that it's a binder and it doesn't wipe off after. So I'm going to zoom in right away for you guys, but I'm just doing very, very basic, loose watercoloring, nothing fancy. I'm just adding in a little bit of darker shadows and letting it go. So aren't they cute? I think they're ever so darling. I'll have a link to all of the products I've used that are available and everything else in the description box below, as well as over on my blog, so you can click to either of those two places. Now I'm coming in with the Salty Ocean for the guy. I couldn't remember what color I used. I did this card a couple of weeks ago, so video failed once and yada yada yada, so here we go again. Basically is why I'm not 100% sure on everything, but so I'm just doing the same thing, adding a little bit of darker color. Everything's very basic, letting it blend out, and that's that. Then we're just going to color in our little heart, I think. There we go. It's a picked raspberry, and I'm just going to go in and color in the heart, finally. So, and then I make sure everything is nice and dry. Apparently I did that off screen, sorry about that. Then I come in with pumice stone and hickory smoke. Oh, I'm doing a little more on the heart, sorry. Because I'm wrong. But I'm going to come in with the pumice stone and the hickory smoke distress ink, and I'm just going to do some grounding underneath of the little birds, just to make them look like they're standing on something, because they aren't directly on top of the words or anything out of the sentiments. So just using those two colors. I love that hickory smoke color. It's absolutely great. I think it's fantastic. I'm drying everything up, and here I'm coming in with my Micron pen, and I'm just tracing over all of the words. It's not perfect, but it looks really good. I don't mind it at all. I mean, I'm not 100% perfect on any of the letters, but it's close enough for my liking. And then this next part is sped up really, really fast. I didn't cut anything out. I just kind of took dead space and everything out. So this is me cutting up all of the papers. I don't even know the exact measurements I used. It looks by, like, everything ends up about 3/4 of an inch smaller or 1/2 inch smaller than my standard card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So, and you saw me put extra paper on the back of that watercolor paper. It's just because it warps that little bit from the heat, from using the heat gun and everything to dry it, so that way I don't have to worry about it not sticking well to the paper and starting to curl up after. So I get this done, and then I start debating if I'm going to put it across the middle, or I turn it sideways, and I didn't like that, so it goes across the middle. Then I'm like, it needs something in the background, so I go and I pull out some white thread. I haven't done this in a very long time, but I take off a whole bunch of white thread, and I make it into a little rat's nest, and I take a piece of my tape, and I tape it right across the middle to hold it where I want it. It's very high-tech and scientific. This is just some foam tape. I buy this at the Dollarama in Canada. It is not archival if that is important to you. It's not important to me on most of my cards. It depends, but it really won't affect them for a very, very long time, if at all. So I'm putting this across the middle. And then it still needs something, so I go and grab my Snow White sequins, and I do believe these are from Neat and Tangled. So I pulled out 6 and I only used 5. I put 3 on the top and 2 on the bottom, and I'm using my matte medium from Ranger to adhere these down, because if any of the glue squirts out, it is not shiny. Then when I think it's almost done, I go and pull out, well, it's Glossy Accents, but I have what Close to My Heart sells as their version. I'm using it up before I open up another one, so. But I come in with that, and I do their glasses with Glossy Accents at the end, so that they're nice and shiny when it's all dry. And that's everything for the card. So again, all of my links to my social media, to my Patreon, my Etsy store, and everything will be down below, as well as the links to all of the products used. I hope you enjoyed this card and have a wonderful day. Bye for now.